Hello, guys. This is another episode of Networking in the Cloud, and this is still a continuation of the previous video that I've made for you guys, which is the application load balancer. I know a lot of people have been asking me to do a video and application on Elastic Load Balancer, and I'm just doing one of the popular load balancer, which is the application load balancer. So I've previously done the fundamentals of ALB, have done ALB with auto scaling, and this today, guys, is going to be ALB with path-based routing, one of the features of Elastic of application load balancer, which is the path-based routing. Let's just jump into it. So first, I'm going to be creating an instance. So let's create an instance. We're going to create one instance now. So we choose Amazon AMI, and we choose the default one. So in this one, let's just choose a default. Let's say any preference. So it doesn't really matter any because the different in AZ is not what we are trying to look at, but we're just trying to create an AC2 instance. And the first one we're going to do is to create an LO. So I'm going to put the share script here. You can see the share script here. This is what I have here. It's going to create it as a web server, and LO networking in the cloud is going to create that into this particular folder, and that's what we want to do. So we do this, and I've explained that user data in the first fundamental video of the ALB. So we leave this going forward, and we add a tag here and give it a name, and the name should be LO. And this we're going to choose from the existing security group that we had, and I'm going to choose this one because this one is allowing my ALB to only access on this port, and not everything, but everything on port 20, so I can be able to log into it if need be. So I reviewed this and I'm going to launch. I choose the Highland KPI and I just launch, and we're going to launch another instance, and another instance we're going to launch is going to be the other target group that we want to have is called subscribe. So I can let this be. So we're going to put our shell scripts here. You can see this is a little bit different. It's a little bit different. I have the subscribe here. I have the subscribe set of the hello. So subscribe to networking in the cloud, as you can see. Kindly subscribe. So this is going to be, and the name is going to be subscribe. Yeah, that's what we want, and we're going to use the same security group for this, and that is what we want to have. So we'll launch it. We use the same key pair, and that is it. So the next thing we're going to do at this point, now that we have our EC2 instances running, we're going to go to the target group, and this is where we're going to create our target group. We already have one target group here from the previous previous videos. So we choose this target group name, we give it hello, and the port is this. We choose a default, and the path here is going to be hello, and we have this advanced. The advanced is 2, and if you've seen the previous video, after we created our target group, you see that it first I was kicked into the unhealthy threshold. I was kicked into the unhealthy status, and after it took a while before the instances were registered in the target group as being healthy. And I explained that the reason is because I had an aggressive settings for the unneeded threshold. So because it took a while before the script got executed in the instances. So at this point, I'm going to increase the unhealthy threshold to be a little bit of 4 and leave this as 5 so that we can have enough time for the EC2 instance to come up and run and execute the shell scripts. And so we don't, so probably from the initial stage, we can just jump to LD instead of you saying on LD then LD. But let's see if that works, if that is going to do the trick. So this is for our first initial target group, and we can, well, let's say it's asking me to choose a target group for this. So we're going to choose LO for this. We add that to this place and we create our target group. Let's go ahead and create the second target group. And let's see. Second target group is subscribe. We've not added the target group to the load balancer yet. And this is going to be subscribe. We want to get the name correct so we don't end up in some surprises. So we leave this like this. And the second one, we can add this just to it on one go, create a target group. And so the next thing we're going to do, now that our target group has been created, you can see there's the load balancer for the default one. We just have to go to the load balancer here and we choose the listener. From the listener, you can see we already have a default rule, which is the web HTTP. So what we have to do here is to edit the rule so we can add more rules to this. So from this, we can go to, this is editing this rule. We don't want to edit the rule. We just want to go here and add another rule. Insert rule. So what we want to do is the path, because what because when I was doing the fundamental video, I was talking about the different path-based routing, different routing that ALB actually support: the host header, the path header, HTTP header, HTTP request method, query streaks, source IP. But in this case, we want to go to the path, and the path we had for the first one is hello. Hello is this or the value, but this is good for us. So we had an action there. So the action is that we want to forward it to the hello group, the hello target group, and that it's good enough for us. So another one we can do, we can save this. Then, so you can see we have a rule like that. Then we can add another rule here, which is the condition will be the path, and this is going to be subscribe parts, and the action is that we want to forward it to this particular subscribe target group, and we have this like this, and before you know it, we already have three rules here. The first one is if the path is subscribed, then forward it to this. The second one is if the path is hello, we want to forward it to this hello group, and that is it. Sorry about that. I'm not trying to create another one. So those are the rules that we have there. So we can look at our target group now. Let's see if now we are able to see that the load balancer are attached to this. So if we look at the first one, let's see the target group if it's LD. So we can see it's LD. And that gives us enough time. So if we check, excuse me about that, if we check the other one, the other target group, which is the subscribe, let's just see what we have in the target. We can see it's also LD, and this is what we want to see. As a matter of fact, this is 1B. Let's see. I'm just curious anyway. Not that anything matters. I just want to see. 1B, so it doesn't really matter. So now that we have that, we can test it, right? So we can do a call to it, or we can bring up a web server. So web server, this is the same here. In case you've forgotten what the URL is for the Elastic Load Balancer, we can always get that from the description here. You can see this is it. So after that, we can then move to this part and copy that here. So we can just slash hello, because that is the path. And if we go there, we can see what do we have. Hello. It looks as if it's the same thing, right? Okay. So just to be sure, let's open a new tab where we don't have any of that. So as we can see that this is the first one. This is the hello networking in the cloud, and this is successful. And if we try to go to the next one, which is let's just, I think we've copied that before. This is, if we just, I'm just trying to be lazy here. So if we copy this and we put our subscribe button here, we can see subscribe networking in the cloud. We can see that this is working as expected. So this is just what we want to see. We can see that based on the path, the ALB knows where to direct our traffic, which is going to the subscribe networking in the cloud as based on the user data that we put in the advanced option. So this got executed on our web server, and we can see the hello part also is working. And this is exactly what we are expected to see. And I believe you enjoyed this. In our next part, in the next video, I'll be showing how to secure our traffic in transit. Because as you can see, what I'm sending, excuse me, what I'm sending at the moment is a clear text HTTP traffic, but you might be in a public space. Maybe you're using a Wi-Fi and you're trying to, reach out to your web server. You don't want people to eavesdrop into what you're doing, so you want to secure it. So the next video we'll be looking at how to encrypt our data, our traffic in transit, so that we show that from the client to the load balancer, traffic is encrypted. You don't need to then encrypt the traffic between the load balancer to the web server, because those are internal, those are already internal, so there's nobody that wants to eavesdrop on that. But you want to secure the traffic that are coming from the internet to the load balancer. You don't want people to see what you're sending or what the load balancer is sending back to you, so you want to encrypt that in transit. And that is what we are going to be looking into in the next video. And this, I hope you enjoyed this. Please remember to subscribe and hit the notification button to get more videos. So what we are just going to do now is a cleanup. To a little bit cleanup, we're going to delete the target group that we have. We're going to delete the instances. We're going to uninstall them, and that is exactly what we need to do at the moment. So let's just terminate and do a cleanup. While I do that, thank you. Feel free to subscribe. Let me know what type of video you would like to see next, and I'll gladly make that up for you. Thank you, and have a wonderful time.